Okay, let's get real for a second. What the heck is self-love? It's not just about taking bubble baths and eating chocolate, although, hello, those are amazing. Self-love is like being your own best friend. It's about treating yourself with kindness and respect. It's cheering yourself on, even when you mess up. And trust me, we all mess up sometimes. Think of self-love as giving yourself a big, warm hug from the inside out. It's accepting yourself, flaws and all. It's looking in the mirror and saying, you know what? You're pretty awesome. Even on bad hair days, especially on bad hair days. It's about recognizing your worth, not because of what you do or how you look, but simply because you exist. Self-love isn't selfish. I repeat, it's not selfish. It's necessary. It's the foundation for everything good in your life. Without it, you're like a phone without a charger. You'll eventually run out of juice. But with self-love, you recharge and thrive. Let's talk about why self-love is such a big freaking deal. It's not just some fluffy concept that looks good on Instagram. It's the real deal, the game changer, the secret sauce to living your best life. When you love yourself, you start making choices that are good for you. You stop settling for less than you deserve. You become your own superhero. Self-love is like putting on your own oxygen mask first. You know how flight attendants always say that? There's a reason. You can't help others if you're gasping for air yourself. The same goes for life. When you take care of yourself, you have more energy and love to give to others. You become a better friend, partner, co-worker, and human being overall. Loving yourself also means you're less likely to put up with nonsense. You set boundaries. You say no to things that don't serve you. You say yes to opportunities that light you up. All right, time for a little personal story. Buckle up because this is going to get real. I used to be the queen of self-doubt. Seriously, if there was an Olympic event for beating yourself up, I'd have won gold. I was constantly comparing myself to others, always feeling like I wasn't enough, too loud, too opinionated, not thin enough, not successful enough. It was exhausting. I remember this one time I was at a party. Everyone seemed so confident, so put together. And there I was, feeling like a total imposter. I spent the whole night trying to be someone I thought they'd like, laughing at jokes I didn't find funny, agreeing with opinions I didn't share. By the end of the night, I felt drained and miserable. That was my wake-up call. I realized I was so busy trying to be someone else, I'd forgotten how to be me. That's when I decided to make a change. I started small. I'd look in the mirror every morning and say one nice thing about myself. At first, it felt weird and fake, but I kept at it. I started treating myself the way I treat a best friend. I celebrated my wins, no matter how small. I forgave myself for my mistakes. I started saying no to things that didn't bring me joy. Let me tell you, when you start loving yourself, it's like dropping a pebble in a pond. The ripples spread out, touching every part of your life. First, you'll notice changes in how you treat yourself. You'll start prioritizing self-care. You'll speak to yourself more kindly. You'll set boundaries. It might feel weird at first, like wearing new shoes, but stick with it because the effects are amazing. Next, you'll see changes in your relationships. When you love yourself, you stop accepting less than you deserve. You'll attract people who appreciate the real you. Toxic relationships will naturally fall away. You'll become a better friend, partner, and family member. Why? Because you're no longer looking to others to fill a void. You're whole and complete on your own. your career will get a boost too. Self-love gives you confidence. You'll start believing in your abilities. You'll take more risks, speak up in meetings, ask for that promotion. You'll stop downplaying your achievements. And here's the cool part. People will notice. They'll be drawn to your newfound confidence. Opportunities will start coming your way. But perhaps the biggest change will be in how you feel day to day. Okay, let's talk about that voice in your head. You know the one. The inner critic that loves to point out every flaw, every mistake. It's time to give that voice a makeover. Positive self-talk is like being your own personal cheerleader. It's about replacing those negative thoughts with kinder, more supportive ones. And trust me, it can change everything. Start by catching yourself when you're being self-critical. Would you talk to a friend that way? If not, why are you talking to yourself like that? Instead, try speaking to yourself the way you'd speak to someone you love. Be gentle, be encouraging. When you make a mistake, don't berate yourself. Say something like, "It's okay, you're learning. You'll do better next time." Make it a habit to compliment yourself daily. Look in the mirror and find something you like. Maybe it's your smile, your eyes, or how you rock that outfit. Say it out loud. Let's talk about self-care, baby. And no, I don't just mean face masks and bubble baths, although those are awesome too. Real self-care is about meeting your needs on all levels, physical, emotional, and mental. It's about doing things that nourish your soul and recharge your batteries. And here's the kicker. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. Self-care looks different for everyone. For some, it might be curling up with a good book. For others, it's going for a run or cooking a delicious meal. The key is to find what works for you. What makes you feel refreshed and energized? What brings you joy? Make a list. And then, this is the important part, actually do those things regularly. Not just when you're stressed or burned out, but as a preventative measure. Now, I know what you're thinking. But Mindy, I don't have time for self-care. I hear you. Life is busy, but here's the thing. You can't afford not to take care of yourself. It's like trying to drive a car without ever stopping for gas. You'll eventually run out of fuel. So start small. Maybe it's just 5 minutes of deep breathing in the morning. Section 7. Boundaries, learning to say no and mean it. All right, let's talk about the little word that can make a big difference. No. For a lot of us, saying no feels like we're being mean or selfish. But here's the truth, bomb. Setting boundaries is a crucial part of self-love. It's about respecting your own time, energy, and needs. And it's about teaching others to respect them too. Think of boundaries like the walls of your house. They define your personal space. They keep the good stuff in and the bad stuff out. Without them, anyone could just waltz in and make themselves at home on your couch. Not cool, right? The same goes for your life. You get to decide who and what you let in. You get to protect your time and energy. Now, I know saying no can be tough, especially if you're a people pleaser, raise his hand. But here's a little secret. The world won't end if you say no. In fact, it might just get better. Because when you say no to things that drain you, you make space for things that energize you. You free up time and energy for what really matters to you. Start small. Section 8. Embracing your quirks. Celebrating your uniqueness. Let's get real for a second. We all have quirks. Those little or big things that make us different. Maybe you snort when you laugh. Maybe you have an encyclopedic knowledge of 90s boy bands. Maybe you can't eat foods that touch on your plate. Whatever it is, it's part of what makes you, well, you. And it's time to celebrate that. For the longest time, I tried to hide my quirks. I thought they made me weird or unlikable. But you know what? The moment I started embracing them, everything changed. People were drawn to my authenticity. They appreciated the real me more than the polished version I was trying to present. Because here's the truth, your quirks aren't flaws. They're your superpowers. Think about it. In a world where everyone's trying to fit in, your uniqueness is what makes you stand out. It's what makes you memorable. It's what makes you interesting. Your quirks are the sprinkles on the cupcake of your personality. They add flavor, color, and fun. Section 9. The Self-Love Toolkit. Daily practices for a happier you. All right, it's time to get practical. Let's build your Self-Love Toolkit. These are daily practices that will help you cultivate more love and compassion for yourself. Think of it like working out, but for your self-esteem. The more you do these exercises, the stronger your self-love muscles will become. Ready? Let's dive in. First up, daily affirmations. I know it sounds cheesy, but trust me, it works. Start your day by looking in the mirror and saying something positive about yourself. It could be as simple as, I am worthy of love and respect, or I've got this. Say it with feeling. Even if you don't believe it at first, keep at it. Your brain will start to catch up. Next, practice gratitude. Every night before bed, write down 3 things you're grateful for about yourself. Maybe you're proud of how you handled a difficult situation. Maybe you're thankful for your sense of humor. Big or small, acknowledge it. This helps shift your focus from what you lack to what you have. Another powerful practice is self-compassion. When you make a mistake or face a setback, treat yourself with kindness. Talk to yourself the way you talk to a good friend. It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. What can you learn from this? This helps build resilience and self-acceptance. Lastly, make time for joy. Do something every day that brings you happiness, just because. Embracing these moments of joy can lead to a more fulfilling life and help you grow. Section 10. The ultimate game changer. Your new self-love superpower. Congratulations! You've made it to the final chapter of our self-love journey. By now, you're armed with knowledge, tools, and practices. If you enjoyed this series, don't forget to subscribe for more content on self-love and personal growth.